Okay. Am I audible to everyone? Yes. Okay. So, myself, Mrinalini Sonamne, the two, three short videos that I shared with you now, these are the few offerings that we have. So, I work with Myelin, and we are here with the one core mission, empowering teachers so that every teacher can proudly call herself a 21st century educator. We are committed here to create one unified platform that connects educators across various regions, ensuring they have the tools and resources that they need. Today, our speaker will be guiding us on how to make learning engaging, transforming the way we approach education. We have Manish Khanolkar who has joined us from Ahmedabad. So we are thrilled to welcome Mr. Manish Khanolkar, an accomplished HR consultant, trainer, and a public speaker. With over 17 years of experience, Manish has worked with leading organizations like PepsiCo, ITC, Make My Trip, where he created industry recognized initiatives such as robust induction processes and planning programs. He also led the learning and development division at Arvind Limited, impacting over 5,000 employees. Manish is a passionate advocate for employee development and has been recognized as one of India's top HR professionals. He is also a proud member of Toastmasters International, where he has honed his public speaking and leadership skills. Today, as I mentioned earlier, that Mr. Manish has joined from Ahmedabad to share his insights. So, from everyone from the audience and myself and from the complete team of Myelin, Mr. Manish, I welcome you and over to you now.
Thank you, Mrinalini. So, good evening, everyone. Good evening. Can I have some cameras on? So it looks like I'm talking to blank faces. So it's good to have cameras on. And how are we going to go about it? First and foremost, so we are going to use the chat, plus we'll use the video also later on at the end of the session if we have any questions, etc. discuss. And pehle to, let's talk about the language. Now we can discuss or we can have the talk in either English or Hindi or Marathi or a mixture of all the three. Okay. So if you have any preference for any language, you can just put that in the chat, and that will help me understand which language should I use more. Okay, and that's how we are going to go about it. So this is the first exercise assignment, etc. So let's look at typing in the chat, and as you're typing, I'm just going to go through it. So preference, whichever is your preference, or जो लैंग्वेज का सबसे ज्यादा आता है, that language will be spoken majority of the time. Yeah. Okay, so we have people saying English, Marathi. ठीक है. Okay. Okay. Okay, so this English which is coming up as a major one, and slight Marathi. Okay, Hindi also fine. That was also yeah. Okay. Okay. Fine. Fair enough. So I'll speak majorly in English and a little bit of Hindi and Marathi in between. जसं होतं तसं बघतो. Okay. So as Mrinalini has introduced, my name is Manish, and just to share with you, start with you. This is a very interesting opportunity to interact with you. And why I say I always like interacting with teachers, because that is one community which makes the major difference, but doesn't get its due. Its due. No? सोसायटी घडवण्यात त्यांचा खूप असा हातभार असतो, पण त्यांना तेवढं काय म्हणतात, they don't get the recognition, that is what it is. And let me tell you a very interesting story to begin with. So it happened in one school. and there was a reunion, and so students came, and they were, you know, current teachers and former teachers out there. And one student then walks up to a teacher and says, "I am today what I am because of you." Okay. And the teacher says, "Nice to hear that. What do you do?" And he says, "I am also a teacher like you." Okay. So the teacher is inspired. Then he प्रेरणा दिले दिला कि for the student कि you also become a teacher. And the teacher says, again, nice to that, but can you tell me more about how I was an inspiration? So the student says, remember when this was class, when I was in class fifth, this incident happened, that one of the students had got a new watch, and that watch, had was stolen. And you said, you asked all of us to stand in a line, and you were checking each one of us. Okay. And when you came to me, you got the watch. Okay. But you didn't say anything, and you continued checking the remaining of the students. And then at the end you said that the watch has been found, and you handed it over to the student. And you didn't point out at me saying that, okay, you have stolen. You just kept quiet about it. And obviously everyone was she asked all the students to close their eyes, so no one knew who the thief was. Okay. And everyone had closed their eyes, and she checked everyone, and she found the watch, and she gave the watch, and then that was it. The matter was over. And he said that day I understood what my dignity was restored, or dignity was at stake, and you didn't, because you didn't point as saying that I am the thief. I felt very good, and that's why I decided to become a teacher. So the teacher heard that, and she said, yeah, I remember the incident, but I don't remember you, because even I had closed my eyes. So the fact that the teacher had closed her eyes also shows that the teacher didn't want to have that biases also towards that student. And that is the level of impact which the teacher was creating, or created for the student. The this is a this is the impact which we can create, and that's what I thought I'll just share with you. Yeah. So coming to today's topic, I'm just going to share a presentation. So I've got a short presentation, nothing much, but I'm using it like a reference. So थोड़ा सा कधी वापरीन ते कधी नाही वापरणार असं on and off होत राहील. Okay, with respect to how we are going to go about it. If you have a question, two things. One is you can ask me then and there. So you can, one is you can raise your hand, or second is you can type the question in the chat. Chat में तुम type करू शकता, type कर लीजिए chat में, ताकि अगर if it's related to that topic and I can answer it, I'll answer it then and there. Or the session will go on for up till about 7:30 is what our timing is. We will end a little bit before, maybe 10-15 minutes before, and we will keep the last 10-15 minutes for question answers. So ऐसे हम करके, that's how the design is. Fine. So let me share with you. Okay, I hope you can see my screen. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, let's go ahead with it. So what are we going to talk about? Yeah. Okay, let's look at the flow. Yeah. So we are going to discuss about why engaging learners helps. So first and foremost, when we talk about engaging learners or engaging students, तो क्यों करना है ये, और वो कैसे हेल्प करता है स्टूडेंट्स को, और उसका इम्पैक्ट क्या होता है. सो आई जस्ट शेयर विद यू स्टोरी ऑफ टीचर्स कैन क्रिएट इम्पैक्ट. नाउ आई टॉक अबाउट हाउ एंगेजमेंट विल create that impact. We'll talk about that. Yeah. We'll talk about how does it impact learning. So traditional methods of learning versus engaging methods of learning से क्या impact होता है students के ऊपर. We'll talk about techniques, tools and techniques of engagement. क्या क्या कर सकते हैं, okay, to keep the learner engaged. And as you know, कि आज के ज़माने में it has become very difficult to keep a student engaged. They are really the span of attention has really come down, okay, to a couple of minutes. So what is it that we can do? We look at subject and linkages. So which subjects and how to get those linkages. And last is we look at question and answers. So let's look at first and foremost why engaging learners helps. Okay, we'll start with that, and a couple of pointers out here. See, people learn differently, as they said. Some, they say, are visual, some listen more, but everyone learns a lot by doing something. जब आप कुछ करते हैं तो आप ज्यादा सीखते हैं, विजरी कोई आपको कुछ बताता है, तो इफ यू जस्ट टोल्ड समथिंग यू विल रिमेंबर इट, बट इफ यू डू समथिंग यू डेफिनेटली रिमेंबर इट बिकॉज दैट्स एन एक्सपीरियंस, एंड सो इट एनहांसेस रिटेंशन एंड अंडरस्टैंडिंग. और uh, कोई जब आपको करके दिखाता है या यू डू समथिंग, इट दैट एक्सपीरियंस itself is what makes you. uh, there is curiosity, there is motivation when I just have to read a book versus I have to do something, I have to create something, or I do some practical application. So there is curiosity which builds in, and there is motivation also which is which is there. uh, Engagement, what happens is it problem solve critical thinking. When I am doing something, जब मैं कुछ कर रहा होता हूँ ना, and if there is a problem, then I say अच्छा इसको solve कैसे करते हैं, what all can be possible things. And so पहले के जमाने में actually it was very difficult to solve these problems. You had to, because there was no Google, there was no YouTube, there was nothing. आज के इसमें is very easy. Either someone has created a video about it on on YouTube, और कुछ नहीं तो AI को पूछ लीजिएगा, आपको आपको जवाब मिल ही जाएगा. Okay, so it has become that easy. But that even if it's easy, that whole process of finding out the answer is something which really helps to get the learner engaged, rather than just getting this giving the answer on a plate. Yeah. So there is collaboration, there is communication, which is what engagement methodologies are. And I learned this very later in my life when I was designing training programs. So engaging students is difficult, engaging adults is also difficult, in fact more difficult, because by that time they also have a mental block or a bias कि हमें तो आता है, हमें क्या कोई बताएगा. And then to get them to do something, and then to get them to learn becomes real challenge. So you have to look at collaborative ways, you have to look at क्या क्या कर सकते हैं. But once you do that, the learning, the learning really goes manifold. So this is what it does: promotes a social development, emotional development, because they are working with peer group. So it is not the knowledge of the teacher, it's also the knowledge of the peer group which we are tapping when we look at engagement methodology, and that is why we look at engagement. It just keeps distractions aside, because the person is doing something, so more likely to be focused when the person is just not doing anything. And it prepares students for real world challenges, because आज अगर कुछ engagement की एक methodology है, they are preparing something, they are preparing a chart, they are preparing a model, they are preparing a presentation. तो कल को उनको वही challenges आने वाले हैं, and the fact that they have to find out their answers builds in things like कल को problem आ गया तो मुझे मेरा problem का जवाब खुद ढूंढना है. I have to go and figure out my ways. No one is going to give me a solution. That is what engagement actually, it does. Fine. So this is why engagement is actually required. Yeah. And let's we will go to a methodology of engagement. But before I go, let me just cover a small thing about. Let's talk about the impact on learning. Yeah. Just give me one moment. Yeah. So I'm just going to quickly cover this strengthens conceptual understanding. Concept लवकर आणि चांगल्या समजतात एंगेजमेंटमुळे. लोक ऐकायला लागतात एंगेजमेंटमुळे. एक स्टुडंट्स किंवा लर्नर्स त्यांची लिसनिंग वाढते. आपल्या प्रत्येक एज्युकेशन मध्ये आपण बघितलं तर आपण देर आर 4 ways in which we learn anything, or especially a language. We are reading, we are writing, and we are speaking. आणि लँग्वेजच्या डेव्हलपमेंटमध्ये लिसनिंग वर भार दिला जात नाही. सो हाऊएव्हर लिसनिंग इज वन ऑफ द मोस्ट इम्पॉर्टंट aspects of developing a language. Upon, if you take your own example or our own examples, we learn our language with the help of listening. It takes us 2 to 3 years to speak our mother tongue, and we do that only by listening. How to listen effectively, yeah, that is something which is a key, and that is something which we have to do at the managerial level. And when we do sessions, we talk about listening for emotions, listening for facts, listening for feelings. But the problem is the education system does not teach listening. It only talks about reading, writing वर जास्त भर दिला जातो, आणि to an extent speaking. Okay, so supports personal learning, it fosters creativity, and it creates a positive learning experience. So a lot of benefits, a lot of impact, and engagement is really good. That's the bottom line, that's what the point is. So what are we going to do is, okay, we are going to do a small activity out here because this is engagement आणि मी अशी presentation येऊन दाखवणार नाही. We are going to do something. So that is what we are going to do. I just want to know in the chat की तुम्ही कुठले कुठले subject शिकवता. So which all subjects do you teach? So you can just type the name of the subject like history, geography, whatever is what you are teaching. Let's look at that. Okay, computers, maths. Okay, maths and science. Okay. So we've got computers, maths and science, drawing. Okay, nice. So drawing मध्ये तर engagement असतेच. त्याच्यात you're already doing a lot of things. Okay. Okay, subject also मराठी. हा, subject मध्ये engagement कशी घेणं थोडंसं challenging असतं तर what to do. Maths and EVS. Okay. English. So we have language teachers. We have no history geography. History geography teacher नाही कोणी. Okay. Okay. Fine, so separate, but we have science. Okay, fine. So what we'll do is let's do a small activity. काय करायचंय? I'll just explain the activity and then we will do it. Okay, मी पहिले दाखवतो काय करायचंय and then I will give you the tool which you'll have to do. And you can do it on your phone or you can do it on your you can do this on the, if you're on a PC, you can do it on the PC as well. Okay. So there are various subjects. So what subjects I have taken is history, English, biology, geography, Hindi, physics, Marathi, chemistry, math, French. These are the just subjects which I have taken. Around 10 subjects is what I have taken. And I have created a, I will show you what I've done, then I will give it to you. Okay, so just hold on. I have created a word search for it. Okay. आता ह्या word search मध्ये हे subjects आहेत. So what you have to do is I will share the link with you, and on that you don't do it out here कारण इथे ते static आहे. I will show you a dynamic way of doing it. So you have to in that on that link, once you click on that link, it will take you to a website. त्या website वर जायचं, तिकडे तो word search येईल आणि on that word search just find out where these subjects are in this entire word search. Okay. The chat मध्ये I'm just sharing with you. I'm going to stop my share out here. Okay, chat मध्ये I'm just sharing with you the link. Okay, and we will do that word search. Okay, so you must have got the link of it in the chat. आणि once you click on that link, this is what you should be able to see. हे असं दिसेल. Okay. आणि subjects आहेत इथे आणि त्या word search करायचे. So once you click begin, you can click. So let me try one. आणि कसं होतं? ओके, हिअर आय फाउंड मॅथ्स आणि मग ते कॅन्सल होतं असं आहे ते. तर टेक अबाउट 2-3 minutes अँड ट्राय इट आउट इफ यू आर एबल टू गेट सम वर्ड्स. लेट्स सी 2 minutes मध्ये इफ यू आर एबल टू गेट ऑल द 10 वर्ड्स बिफोर वी प्रोसीड. उल्टा सुलटा नहीं. I got some. Did anyone get all? Okay. Yeah. So I'm just going to stop my share. So how did you feel about this? Okay, let me just ask you, and you can type in the chat. How did you feel about this word? It was simple word search. त्याच्यात काही जास्त कॉम्प्लेक्स नव्हतं. मी फक्त सब्जेक्ट वापरले होते. पण कसं वाटलं? How did you feel about this? Okay, where you are doing a search and you are तिथे काही शब्द दिलेत आणि ते सर्च करायचे. Did you feel good? Did you feel awesome? मजा आली थोडीशी. अरे काहीतरी वेगळं आहे असं वाटलं का? Yeah. You can type in the chat so that I come to know की कसं वाटलं. Yeah, interesting, right? Yeah, it feels good like solving. Yeah. So this is one activity which is a very simple one, and it triggers some different interest. आणि आता लेट्स लुक ॲट हाऊ कॅन वी यूज दिस वर्ड सर्च आणि हे कसं कसं करायचं. डुईंग दिस वर्ड सर्च, आता हे वर्ड सर्च बसून तयार करायचं का? डू वी सिट अँड डू दिस ऐसा बैठ के करना है? द आंसर इज नो. देर आर tools which can give you the word search. So what I will do is I prepared this in absolutely 5 minutes. Okay, and let me just share with you what are the tools to prepare this word search. So what you need to do, again, I'm going to share my this thing. You need to go to this site. Okay, word search, the word search. Let me close. And, here, what you need to do, I'm just going to go to the basic site, the base site. Okay, let me go. So this is the word search which I prepared, but let me go to the original. So when you go to the word search maker, you have to give a title, description if you want to give, you can give, and you have to give word list द्यायची फक्त इथे. And once you give the word list, so this here is where I put in the subjects. Okay, and my title was subjects and here, and then I click submit. And once I click submit, what happens is it actually creates a word search like this. It does this on its own. And there are two ways in which you can do it. Now, one is you can take a printout of it, make copies and give it to students. Or second is how I did it. If you're doing an online session, you can share the link and then people do it. Okay, now how can this be used? This can be used for revision. This can be used for asking students to first read something and then giving it like a small exam. So classroom it takes about 3, 4, 5 minutes to do it, but it's a very engaging activity की अरे काहीतरी आम्ही वेगळं केलं आणि recap होतो त्याचा. Okay, you get a recap of it. Yeah. Yeah, there's a question. There's someone with raised hand. Yeah, you can unmute and you can share. I'll take the question out here itself. Sahana, yeah, you have a question? You have raised your hand. Okay, if you have anything, just type it. I will take it from that then as well. Okay. Okay. So this is how a word search happens, and with that you can create engagement. Right? So free tool. Okay, simple, easy to do, and we look at where all it can be used. Yeah. So let's go to our presentation and let's look at, okay, like this, what are the other activities which we can do. So I just thought of giving you one ek jhalak dene ke liye, and then we will discuss some more as well. Okay. Okay, now when we are looking at engagement, let me just share my screen again. What are the engaging methodologies? Okay, so there are two kinds of methodologies, दो किस्म के. One is called as teacher driven techniques. Teacher driven techniques means जहाँ पे the teacher has to do something to engage. Okay, you will have to create something like word search. Okay, जहाँ पे you will put the efforts as a teacher, and you will create something, and then the student ke liye that is an engagement activity it becomes. Yeah. The second is a student or learner driven activities where the learner does it, and from the learner side, the because of the learner doing something, the learner learn something, and that is the engagement activity. दोनों में लर्नर करता ही है कुछ, पर टीचर ड्रिवन में टीचर का काम थोड़ा सा है या ज्यादा है, लर्नर ड्रिवन में लर्नर का काम ज्यादा होता है, टीचर का काम बहुत कम होता है. Yeah. Okay, let's look at the first one which we did right now, and that was sorry. The first one is a crossword. I'll show you later on what a crossword is. We'll do an example of a crossword. Also, crossword whatever comes in newspaper, something of that sort. Now, designing that crossword, sometimes people feel, oh, how difficult it is, etc. So there are tools for designing that crossword also. So like a word search, a crossword is also interesting because crossword means you are given clues, and from the clues you have to find out the answer and you have to put the answer. And so it makes people think, it makes your students think ki, Arey, what is the answer, what could be the answer. Yeah. And I'll tell you a very simple way of designing the crossword. What are the techniques, what are the ways in which you can do it, and we'll do a live crossword also. Just we'll go till the end and then we'll do it, and there's a reason for that, you will come to know. Okay. And I'll share with you how to design the clues and which are the websites, like how we did for word search. Yeah. So crossword is one of a very interesting tool. The second interesting tool or technique is the word search, which we just did. So word search may obviously putting those words, you'll get a ready-made word search. Just share it with people, just share it with your students, and that's again a very interesting way of engagement. Another way of engagement, which in my school, which used to happen a lot, is quiz. Okay. And there are two ways in which you can run a quiz. uh, Nowadays you can run it like the Karodpati KBC style also, but how it used to be run is we had four teams, or four houses as we used to call it, and one house used to ask a question to the next one. Okay, so एक सवाल पूछेगी to the next one, and the teacher would approve the question, and once the question is approved, so this is a learner driven, more of a learner driven quiz, and then they would get points. So right answer 10 points, the past right answer 5 points, whatever those rules which used to be there. And in the end, we also had the teacher asking a question. So it could be a combination, or it could be the teacher asking questions to the different houses, and whoever raises the hand in that house gets a point, something of that sort. But quiz competitions were really, really fun, and it was used by the teacher as a recap mechanism. So I remember it used to be done for history. The teacher used to teach the topic, and एक बार वो subject सिखाने के बाद recap के लिए books closed. Okay, now today we are going to have a quiz competition, and we used to enjoy those quiz competitions because we used to get points for that, and some small prize at the end, or something. Yeah. So quiz is another way of keeping learners engaged. uh, One great way, okay, of keeping engagement high is stories. And storytelling is actually a big or a great art, and it's a skill, it's an art which a teacher should know, as I believe. As a trainer, one of the things which I am learning and I learned is storytelling. I'm still learning how to make it more effective. What is it that I'm going to say? How can I add my voice to it? Because see, everyone likes to hear stories. सगळ्यांना आवडतात, आणि लहानपणापासून आपण गोष्टी ऐकत आलो आहोत, आणि वी लाईक टू हिअर स्टोरीज एज किड्स. As adult also we like to hear stories. And stories create excitement. Stories inspire, and stories instigate uh, the mind, the intellect of the student. What has happened? What happened? And it's very interesting. I use this not only in my sessions, but I also use it in my house. I have created an interest of Ramayana and Mahabharata in my kids by telling them stories. And because I have told them stories, they know a lot about Mahabharata and Ramayana than what their peers, than what their classmates know. Okay, because I tell them some, they read some, I tell them some. That's how we work, or that's how we go about it. And these stories are told over dinner tables. So we are sitting together, we are discussing, I'm telling stories, or it's just fun. Yeah. And it it is inspiring. See, I told you a story at the beginning, and you were listening to it. Acha, kya hua, and what did the teacher do? So we are always, when someone tells something, and it need not be personal stories. It can be stories, related to, so where you can tell stories, or you can tell stories in history, you can tell stories in geography, you can tell stories about maths, numbers, kaise aaye, what was the, where did the origins come from, English, can talk about stories. So everything, there are a lot of stories which can be spoken about. It's just that you need to kaise hai. Yeah. Okay, so let's go ahead. Videos really really inspire how you can show videos to them now. Modern classrooms, when I was learning, we didn't have those projectors and internet in every class, but I guess now many schools may have that, or do have them. At least my daughter's school has that. It's a different thing that teachers show something else, but there could be videos which could be used, videos which could be used, and that's one of the ways which nowadays everyone likes to watch videos. So these are like videos which are, you can say, related to whatever subject it is. Those could be, and there are many such videos which are there on YouTube. Yeah. Demonstrations is something which is a big thing, and that sticks. Okay, that really really sticks. And let me give you two examples of how demonstrations can really really make a difference. uh, so this was 8th standard physics session which was there, and my teacher was teaching us how to find out the focal length of a convex, of a lens. And very simple, you take that lens, you throw light from one end, and at another point the rays of the light will all come at one point, and that's how you calculate the focal length. And the way he did was very different. He took us all on the playground, and he took that lens along with him. And so it was noon, it was hot bright sun, and he put that lens and he kept a paper below. So he took that lens in the sun and he kept a paper below, and then he showed us how that rays of the sun came to one point. Eventually what happened is the paper burnt. Okay, paper jal gaya. And interestingly, he also said one thing, this is not just about the focal point of lens, it's also about the focal point of your life. In your life, if you are able to focus on something which is really important to you, you will be able to achieve anything in life. And I still remember that for so many years, that something about focus is what the teacher taught us, with the help of a very simple demonstration of the focal point. Yeah. So this is something which, a small act, a small demonstration, but it left a lasting impression of not only how to calculate the focal point, but also about life. Let me show you one more demonstration which a professor in United States does. So I'm just going to stop my share, and I'll share a small video of how he does that. And very interesting. Can be done for some subjects. It can't be done for all subjects. But how does this guy, this professor, do it? Okay. And okay, it's about a 3 minute video. So let me just share. Yes.
I have here a pendulum. I have an object that weighs 15 kilograms and I can lift it up 1 meter, which I have done now. That means I've done work. MGH is the work I have done, believe me. I've increased the potential energy of this object. 15 times 10 is about 150 joules. If I let it fall, then that will be converted to kinetic energy. If I would let it swing from 1 meter height, and you would be there and it would hit you, you'd be dead. 150 joules is enough to kill you. They use these devices, they're called a wrecker ball. They use them to demolish buildings. You lift up a very heavy object, even heavier than this, and then you let it go, you swing it, thereby converting gravitational potential energy into kinetic energy, and that way you can demolish a building. You just let it hit, and it breaks a building. And that's the whole idea of wrecking. So you are using then the conversion of gravitational potential energy to kinetic energy. Now, I am such a strong believer of the conservation of mechanical energy that I am willing to put my life on the line. If I release that bob from a certain height, then that bob can never come back to a point where the height is any larger. If I release it from this height and it swings, then when it reaches here, it could not be higher. There is a conversion from gravitational potential energy to kinetic energy back to gravitational potential energy, and it will come to a stop here. And when it swings back, it should not be able to reach any higher, provided that I do not give this object an initial speed when I stand here. I trust the conservation of mechanical energy for 100%. I may not trust myself. I'm going to release this object, and I hope I will be able to do it at 0 speed, so that when it comes back, it may touch my chin, but it may not crush my chin. I want you to be extremely quiet, because this is no joke. If I don't succeed in giving it 0 speed, then this will be my last lecture. I will close my eyes. I don't want to see this. So please be very quiet. I almost didn't sleep all night. 3, 2, 1, 0. Physics works, and I'm still alive.
Okay, so that was a demonstration. That is what a professor does, and it is possible to do these kinds of demonstrations in some sessions. Science definitely, you can do these kinds of demonstration, and it is fun. So this is just one of the clip. Uh, uh, so there was another clip which I saw where this person was demonstrating about static electricity and magnetic fields, and so it is just exciting, and the way you can do, or what you can do with science. There are no limits when you are looking at demonstrations and models, etc. So demonstrations really work. It is a little bit क्या होता है उसमें थोड़ा सा you will require some resources, some money, because not all schools may be able to afford it, but demonstrations really help. And for that, you need to have those labs, those science labs, which can really um, help you in those demonstrations, or you need to figure out ways in which you can do those demonstrations. Yeah. Combining demonstrations with stories also helps, So how, when you're explaining a concept, like he was explaining about potential energy, kinetic energy, he was talking about the uses. Now that's a story, or that's an example. So combining it, ki kahan pe use hota hai ye, really helps students a lot, um, in understanding the topic. So yeah, let me again go back to my presentation. So what we have looked at now is basically a crossword. We look at example of that. We looked at word search. We have looked at quiz. We looked at stories. We looked at videos and demonstrations. And why I'm calling them teacher-driven techniques is because a crossword you'll have to create, word search you'll have to create, quiz you'll have to think about certain things. Though you can make it learner-driven also. Stories you'll have to tell. Students will not be in a position to come up with stories. Videos you'll have to find out and figure out and search and show those videos. And demonstrations is what you will have to do. So a lot of thinking aspect is what you'll have to do in a teacher driven techniques, because this is where the teacher drives the teaching, or the teacher drives to where the teacher wants the learner to be there, or the student to be at what position. And you'll always use a combination of teacher and student driven, but teacher driven techniques are really good. I like them because the control is with you. Okay, you can decide कि आज क्या सिखाना है, कैसे सिखाना है, क्या करना है, and you can plan your entire session or entire class with the students, because you are in control. Yeah, in a student or a learner driven, थोड़ा सा control वहां पे चला जाता है, तो you have to monitor a lot of things in that way. यहाँ पे इतना monitoring नहीं है except for the quiz. Let's yeah, any questions out here you can ask. I'm just moving ahead, because yeah, we have a time limitation, yeah, and we have some more things to cover. So let's go to learner driven techniques, which is, or you can replace learner as student driven techniques. Okay, and here is where these are mostly communication driven techniques. Majorly of them, they are oratory, debates, and this is one thing which I used to really love in school. Any topic you want, and you want to generate ideas, and then really run a debate. And debates really help students in two ways. One, it makes them go and do research and find out about the topic, and second is it improves their communication skills because they're participating in a debate. It helps them in public speaking. So debates are really good. In fact, in our school, when I was there, we used to have debate competitions. I didn't participate in many, but we used to have debate competitions, and attending those debates was really wonderful. So debates are good. They will help your students in their overall development of not just about the subject, but also about their communication skills. And they can be done. The topics are a little bit, you may not have many topics, but let's look at it from the subject point of view. You can have debates in English, you can have debates in your language also, Marathi, Hindi, French, German, whatever, Sanskrit. So when you do debates in those language, you're helping the student develop that language, and you're giving him or her the confidence of speaking in that language. So that is where debates really add a plus point. And yeah, the second is presentations. Presentations is basically where a student comes and talks about a particular topic. ये थोड़ा सा depending on which class you're taking it. In our school, it was tried in about 9th, 10th standard में हमने, there was one subject teacher who tried it and did that. Done a lot in MBA colleges, because, or as you grow higher, where you are supposed to talk about a particular topic. So the teacher's job is to create an environment, and the student has to learn and has to present. So you can do individual presentations, group presentations, okay, about any particular topic, and it can be the same subject also which they are supposed to learn. But presentations also, because in presentations again they will go and they will read, and nowadays you can encourage them to do PPTs also. That also helps them in preparing those PPTs, which they will do once they get into corporate life. So presentations is another thing. Yeah, recitation is something which really is also good. See, these are all speaking and oratory driven, so they can talk about speeches. They can talk, so they can give those speeches, create those speeches, give those speeches, and that also helps them. This can also be done with history. Okay, so you have historical speeches which inspired. So what kind of speeches were given, how were they given, and they give those speeches. You can have recitations of poem or poem as they call it. So that is another thing which can be done with respect to learner driven, all where the learner has to do a lot of things. A group discussion is something which again, a technique used for senior level or college students, but I think it can be used in schools also, where you are sort of making them think on a particular topic. May not be used for technical subjects or science, but can definitely be used in English, can definitely be used in languages and other topics, about discussion around a particular topic to generate ideas of what is the possibility which can happen. Yeah. A role play scenario can be done, though it is a little bit uh, not easy, because you will have to really spend some time with the student on thinking about what role they are going to play, and they are going to enact it and do it. So thoda sa different hai ye, but this is also something which can can help a student a lot. Yeah. There can be chart making, certain topics, especially with respect to history, geography. You can make even science for that matter. You can make charts, and you can ask the student to make charts, because chart making again, and why don't ask them to do it at home. Ask them to get the material and do it in the class. So your class becomes engaging. So we had chart making, but in our school, what was done is, आप घर पे बना के लेके आइए, and in that घर पे बना के लेके आना मतलब, you don't know, the student may do it, the student may ask someone else to do it, the parent may do it. Okay, so we don't want that to happen. We want the student itself to himself or herself to really think about how the chart is to be made. So get the material in the class and do the chart in the class, something of that sort. That keeps the class engaged for, and a very wonderful activity to um, to really think about creativity also. And so let's say each one makes a chart about a particular topic in history, or so something in geography. A chart is made about the solar system. A chart is made about the the cycle, the earth, the revolutions about the cycle of the earth around the sun. So something of that sort, and this really helps in visualizing things also. So people visualize it nowadays on a lot on computer, but they can visualize it on the chart as well. So chart making is another good thing. Model making is something which you can also do in your schools. In fact, in my school, we used to have this science fair and a science exhibition. Really, we used to look up to it, because an opportunity to really showcase your talent. And I remember we had we made pinhole cameras. So I made a pinhole camera rather, and there were some electronics things which were made, and so I'll show you a model making which was done in my daughter's school. They're not in a school. I'll tell you where exactly, but this is a model of a. Let me just show that to you. I'm going to stop my share. Yeah, so this is a model of a heart. Okay, and if you there's a hole in the out here, but there's a model of a heart, and when you really pull the balloon, the balloons inside expand and they contract, and this is how actually a heart works. And this is what was made by her, and she was very much excited to show this to me and everyone, and she learned a lot about how the heart works. Now, how is this made? It's very simple. It's a straw, there's clay, it's a plastic bottle which has been used, balloons, and that's it. Okay, so it's made with that, and so simple household item, nothing expensive. Okay, and with that, this model of heart is made, and this actually it was not made in a school. It was made at there's a center out here, Vikram Sarabhai Science Center. There they teach something like this, and I have put her for that, just to learn something different. But this is something which even can be done in schools. Why, I don't know why schools are not doing this. uh, Ask them to make models. So you give the material, ask them to get the material, and think about how models can be made, what all models can be made, and simple stuff. And you can contact the Vikram Sarabhai Science Center. They will help you, or you can contact any of the IITs also. All IITs now support a lot of interaction with students. So you can just write to any IIT, okay, and say that, okay, we want some help. All IITs have certain kits. Okay, so Vikram Sarabhai Science Center in Ahmedabad also has a kit. All IITs also have kits which they can send it to you, and at nominal cost, etc. And they will help you with looking at engaging ways of teaching something like model making. This is another model. This is a model of a rocket, okay, which was made, and this rocket actually goes up. So they used to put water. They put water out here. So this is a plastic bottle. Okay, it's made entirely of plastic and paper. That's it. And water is put inside, and they apply pressure from behind. And because of the pressure, the rocket goes up, and it goes pretty high, about some 40-50 feet or so. So this is another model which was made by my elder daughter. But that excites them. That excites them to know a lot of stuff. In fact, at Vikram Sarabhai, they made Vikram the lander also. So they made a small of cardboard. So the lander was made, and that was made exactly at the time when the mission was going on. So they are connected with what's happening also. So model making is a big thing. I remember in our school when we had science, a lot of students made volcanoes, and these were erupting volcanoes. So they would use their knowledge of chemistry and make eruptive volcanoes. So something of this sort is really something which again would make the student think, okay, what kind of model am I going to make, how I'm going to use clay, what, this, that, and really engages the student. Yeah. Okay, so now we will go and we will do one more thing. Okay, I said I will do this at the end. So I'm just going to. So I've shared a number of. Okay, let's go back. Let's go back in our techniques. So we have teacher-driven techniques. We have got six, which is crossword, word search, quiz, stories, videos, and demonstrations. Okay, and then I've got learner-driven techniques, which is yeah, which I've shared seven of them. And it is debates, presentations, recitation, group discussions, role plays, chart making, and model making. Okay, so you've got six and seven in all, about 12 to 13 techniques. What we are going to do is I'm going to share with you a link, and this link is basically of this link. I'll share with you what exactly the link is. Just give me a moment. This link is basically of a crossword. Okay, so there will be a crossword like this, and it's a live one, so I'm showing it to you. So there will be a crossword, and there are 13 words, and then there are across down there are these puzzles. Okay, there are these clues. So you have to read the clue, and then you have to solve it. The solution is obviously the engagement method, so I'm sort of giving you the partially the answer as well, but that's how it is. So let me share with you the link. You can click on the link and it will. So in the chat, here you go. Okay, so I will show it you that on the. Yeah, let's take a minute or two to solve that. And yeah, let's take 2 minutes to solve this, and then we'll do it together. Yeah. This is live, huh? You can actually do it.
This crossword is actually from the techniques.
Yeah, the techniques, what we have learned. Yeah. So let's look at it. If you get the answers, some of them. Yeah, anyone got a couple? You can just share the answers, what it could be like. You can type it in the chat or you can unmute and you can share. क्या क्या आया आपको? Yes, anyone? अभी जो हमने टेक्निक्स किया उसका, okay, let's look at role play. Yeah, 2 is a role play. इसमें से you will just get a role out here. 2 is a role play because थोड़ा सा challenge आ गया वहाँ पे, but yeah. What is 5? A puzzle where hidden words are found within the grid of letters.
Word search.
Sure, yeah. Last वाला थोड़ा छोड़ दीजिए, I think, yeah. Okay, let's look at then 3 down. क्या narrative used to share lessons, ideas or entertain an audience. Narrative used to share lesson ideas. 3 down. 3 down क्या होगा? One is quiz.
Yes.
One is not quiz. So this is stories. Yeah. One is videos. Videos. 2 is role play. So यहाँ पे सिर्फ role आएगा because play नीचे आया है. Okay. So that's how it is. Okay. So stories, videos. Yeah. Role play ऐसा. Yeah. And let's do 1 or 2 more before we. Yes. Making. Okay. Let's. A game or activity where participants answer questions to test knowledge. 7. So this is quiz. Okay. Yeah. 9th is going to be recitation. Yeah. Okay. Practical display to show how something works or is done. 13th is going to be mostly, if I'm not wrong, it's going to be model. Sorry, 13 is going to be this thing, demonstrations. Yeah. So yeah, so typically like this. Yeah. So you will get these words and you can do that. Yeah. Debates. 9 is recitation. Yeah. 9 is recitation. Correct. 7th is debate. Let me look at 7th. No, 7th will not be a debate. It's a game or activity where participants answer questions, right? Answer questions, debate nahi hoga.
Quiz.
It's a quiz. Yeah, it's a quiz. Yeah. ठीक है, तो this is basically how it is done. Now, where do you get this? क्या करना है इसके लिए? Okay, let me show it to you. You go to this website called crosswordlabs.com और ये crossword labs में जाके let me go to the yeah, this is crossword labs. Crossword labs में जाके आपको क्या करना है? You have to type the crossword puzzle title and here it says enter the answer, a space and then a clue. So typically I would type, let's say, quiz, okay, space and then I would type the clue out there. Okay. Yeah. So ये ऐसे करके you have to type it. And like how there is quiz, you type all the others. And once you type that, all you have to do is you have to, if you want, you create a passcode वगैरह वगैरह. और ये ऐसा आता रहेगा up, down, this, that, etc. You can do those changes out here. And then you say save and finish. Once you click save and finish, what it will give you is something like this. It will give you a crossword. Again, same thing. You take a print out of it and give it to your students or you share it. So you can whatever you can do with crosswords. So another great way to make participants think about how to make learning engaging and really think about this. Fine, so I'm going to stop my share again. Okay, and let's do something very interesting now कि हमने engagement techniques तो सीख लिया. and now we'll do ये ठीक है. Okay, so how do you go about it? So there are about 13 techniques which we talked about, and I just want to share with you one interesting thing, which technique to use where, and we'll do a sort of small uh, थोड़ा सा हम ये करेंगे, but this is how typically you can sit, and also you can do this, and in fact if you are doing 2 3 subjects, then you can think about it. So which engagement technique can be used with which subject? Okay, and for that I've prepared something different. This is how my working goes. Okay, and I'm just going to share that. So instead of giving you the solution, I thought let's build the solution. Okay, English, can a crossword be done in English? Right, you can do that in English. Yeah, so I'm putting a Y. हिंदी में भी कर सकते हैं, या मराठी में भी कर सकते हैं. So you can do crosswords for all. Maths may not be for algebra, maybe for geometry can be done. Physics के लिए कर सकते हैं, chemistry के लिए कर सकते हैं, biology के लिए कर सकते हैं, history के लिए कर सकते हैं, geography के लिए कर सकते हैं. So you can do crossword almost for all. Yeah. Word search can be done. Yes, it can be done out here. हिंदी के लिए I'll have to see if that allows for language. As of now, these two tools don't support it, so I'm putting a blank out here. Okay, maths के लिए again for it can be done for may not be for algebra. Physics के लिए you can have concepts, chemistry के लिए you can have, biology के लिए you can have, history के लिए you can have, geography के लिए you can have. Okay, quiz can be done. Which can definitely be done out here, definitely done out here. English में quiz करना, I'm not sure. Okay, languages के लिए और maths के लिए. Yeah. Stories तो can be told almost for everything. Yeah. Maths के लिए numbers की story बताई सकती है. यहाँ पे the lesson itself are stories, so it's not required much, but बता सकते हैं. यहाँ पे stories can be told for about if it's an invention क्या हुआ, if it's something else, क्या हुआ. English के लिए stories can be told about how words came into existence वगैरह. So a lot of things can be told. So videos के लिए you'll have to look at YouTube. Okay, I have not done that kind of YouTube के लिए, but I did these 2 3 जो professor कैसे सिखाता है, and there are a couple of more who talk about. So you can do the YouTube search कि ये सिखाना है, and you will get it. And I'll tell you a very simple way to do that also. Just wait for 2 minutes. How to get it done. Debates can be done, especially in languages. You may not be able to do debates out here. Presentations can be done out here for more. You may not be able to do presentations out here. Yeah. So there are all these things which can be done. Model making can be done. Other things. So you can prepare your charts and say, अच्छा क्या क्या कर सकते हैं, and you will get a permutations combinations. तो आपके लिए कभी ऐसा नहीं होगा कि यार engagement कैसे करें. What are the things? So there are 13, and there are subjects, and subject into 13, and that number just multiplies. So you can see कि कितने कितने possibilities हो सकते हैं per subject, per engagement. Okay, so if you're doing 2 subjects, you can say अच्छा इस subject के लिए ये engagement में कैसे करूँ. That is how the question is what you've got to ask. Yeah. So that is what I thought about talking with you in terms of engagement. Now I have something bonus for you, okay, which was not a part of our original plan, but I thought let me share it with you because that's a current topic which I am working on. And आजकल के जमाने में क्या है ना, सबको सब कुछ तुरंत चाहिए और आसान चाहिए. Everyone wants everything fast and easy. And I thought of making this easy for you also. Because all of us are busy, all of us have our own house to manage, and we have got other activities. So Manish, ये सब सही है, but who has the time to really prepare this? That's the question which some of you may have. इतना वक्त किसके पास है? So let me tell you, it doesn't require so much time. Okay, जैसे पहले लगता था, अभी उतना time नहीं लगेगा, especially for many of these things. And for that we are going to do something very interesting. We are going to look at how to use AI in teaching. Okay, artificial intelligence को teaching में कैसे इस्तेमाल किया जाता है. And I'll show you what can be done. I'll show you how I did it. and how you can also do it. Yeah. And for that, what one of the tools which we are going to use, or we are going to use only one tool, we are not going to go to many tools, and the tool which we are going to use is chat gpt. Okay, now how do you use chat gpt for engagement? So I'll show you one thing which I did, and I used chat gpt and I did it. So remember I showed you the right now the word search. So I had these words. Okay, let's look at it. Here are I had these words, so I had crossword, this thing, this thing. So I gave it a prompt. My prompt was very simple. I am preparing, you know, a crossword. Below are the words for which I need you to prepare clues for the same. और ये मेरे words है. And I want clues, okay? Because I can't think about clues. तो मैंने चैट जीपीटी में जाके प्रॉम्प्टिंग दिया. चैट जीपीटी ने मुझे ये क्लूज दिए थे. क्रॉसवर्ड अ पजल which involves this ऐसा है, स्टोरी ऐसा ऐसा है. So I don't have to think. If I'm doing a crossword also, I just have to think about the words. अच्छा ये words के लिए मुझे clues चाहिए, तो चैट जीपीटी में जाना है, वो clues देना है, and I will get the answers. वो answers मुझे लेना है. I have to paste it in that crossword labs, and my crossword is ready. So the entire thing can be ready in a matter of minutes. It won't take time. मतलब 5 minute 10 minute maximum में your entire crossword can be ready, and you can print it also in 10 minutes. So that's the speed at which you can do this. It's not about taking a lot of time. नहीं इतना time किसके पास है लगता है वगैरह वगैरह. So something like a word search, a crossword should not actually take much time. Let's go a step ahead, okay, and let's look at some practical problem. So I want one volunteer because I want to demonstrate this to you. Okay, तो वो demonstrate करके ही पता चलेगा क्या क्या हो सकता है. Yeah. So one volunteer who's teaching one subject. Okay. Yeah. Can I have one volunteer? Or I'll just take, then otherwise if there are no volunteers, then I will take a subject, but that will not give you the right kind of solution to your challenges. I will do it my way. So if there's one volunteer who can nominate, just raise your hand, and let's look at how it works for your subject.
Yes, any volunteer, or like should we choose?
Yeah, if we can choose nothing
Yes,
like it.
Kanchan ma'am, Kanchan Thakur ma'am, would you like to be the volunteer here?
Okay, ma'am, that's fine. I will be.
Okay, so ma'am, can you tell me which subject are you teaching?
Currently, I'm teaching maths.
Maths. Okay, so you're teaching maths. Interesting. And in maths, you want to look at one particular topic which you want to make engaging.
Okay. So, shall I tell you the topic name?
Tell me the topic name. Yeah.
Okay. Topic is, let's consider it as fractions.
Fractions. Okay, so let's look at it now. You have a topic as fractions. You want to make it engaging, and you have these 13 methods of engagement, and you are thinking, how can I make it engaging? So that's your problem. Okay, so how do you give a prompt? You just say, you are using chat gpt currently.
Yeah, not
You're
much, but
not.
yeah.
What do you use it for?
Generally, when I want to search for any answers, and if
Answer.
there's a bunch of options, a bunch of Google searches shows it a multiple search, then
Search options,
I
then you
go
use.
for it.
Okay, so you're conversant with ChatGPT. Okay, that's great. So those who are not, okay, it's a very simple tool, just like Google. And I think one change which you need to learn is thoda sa learning curve hai, but learn about ChatGPT. Go and open an account. Very simple. It's free, and this is the free version which I'm using. I'm not using the paid one. And you talk to it like as if you're naturally talking to any friend. So I'm going to type it. You can also enter it. So I am a. Let me just go a little bit up. So I'm setting a context. Okay, my context is I'm a maths teacher. Which class you want to teach it to?
8th standard.
8th standard. Okay. Okay, so I've given a very simple prompt. जैसे मैंने बात की, I'm a maths teacher. I've just given a context. I want to teach fractions to 8th standard students in India. I want you to help me with engagement methods for them. Below are the methods. You can suggest what all can be done for all or any of them. Please explain in detail. Okay, and now I have to give it the engagement methods. So these are my engagement methods. I'm just copying it from here. Okay, so that's my prompt. Very simple. Now let's look at what does it do. I don't know because I'm first time doing it. So let's look at what does it do. Yeah. Okay, it says create a crossword puzzle. Okay, you can do reciprocals, and for that include terms like numerator, denominator, improper fractions, missed fractions, equivalent. You can do that. You can do that for word search also. So you got an ideas. Words could include simplify, common denominator, lowest term. Okay, this. You can do a crossword, or you can do a word search for that. Uh, okay, let's go below. Quiz. Okay, simplify, rapid fire. So you can do quiz. So you can give problems and you can do quiz. Okay, okay, so it says stories. It is telling you some storytelling techniques, what is to be done. Okay, you can use interactive content. Okay, so yeah, this is what is again there. Khan Academy is there. Okay, cut a paper, debates. Okay, debates थोड़ा सा मुश्किल है, but yeah. Okay, history of fractions, real life applications, something of that sort. Recitation मुश्किल है, group discussions may not be there, role play may not be there. Chart making अगर हो सकता है तो model making I don't know, but this is what it is. So it will give you ideas. Okay, कि ये कर सकते हैं. These are the 13 method, उसमें से क्या क्या कर सकते हैं. And from here you can pick up and you can build on it. अच्छा, this is what I can do if I want to make fractions engaging. This is what I can think about. Yeah. So just to share with you, this is how easy it is. So you don't have to even do the thinking about it. वो thinking भी जीपीटी कर लेगा. ओके, आपको सिर्फ वो प्रॉम्प्ट देना है, वो एक सिंपल लाइन का यही प्रॉम्प्ट दिया है, यही देना है कि दिस इज व्हाट आई वांट टू डू, और वो देके यू कैन एक्चुअली सी व्हाट ऑल इज पॉसिबल, फॉर यू नो फॉर एंगेजमेंट के लिए क्या क्या ऑप्शंस हो सकते हैं. Right. So that was the bonus for you. This was just the beginning. Okay. So AI is big and a lot of things can be done. In fact, I'm using a lot of AI in my work, and it really helps save time, or अच्छा भी है, मतलब a lot of things become easier than it is. But keeping that apart, it helps us to really get a lot of ideas जो अलग अलग हो सकता है जो हमने सोचे नहीं है. And we don't need to go and search for it anywhere. Fine. So with that, it is almost 7:20. So I'll take a pause out here. There are 20 minutes, and we leave the last 10. 10 minutes. We'll leave these last 10 minutes for question answers. If you have any questions, I'll be happy to discuss them. Answer them of what all can can be looked at.
Hello, sir.
Yeah.
AI doesn't works with images, na, currently, or there is any AI software available for image search?
Yeah. Chat GPT does that. The paid version of Chat, the free version will also do that. The free version you will have a limitation with respect to how much images you can upload. It will just allow you to upload one or two images and search for it. The paid version will give you almost unlimited image searches or solutions also. So if, let's say for example, you have a maths problem in a textbook, what you do is you take a picture of it and you upload it on GPT and ask it to solve it. The second thing is, if you don't want to, and GPT will read that image and GPT will give you the solution. If you don't want to do the paid version, go to Copilot. Microsoft. So for Copilot, you require Microsoft Edge as a browser, and you can do that for Copilot as well. Okay, Copilot is free. Copilot में backend GPT का ही है, and the front end is of Copilot, and Copilot is free. So you can do as much as you want in Copilot, which the limitation will not be there. Let me tell you one more hack. Instead of doing it on the computer, download the app of Copilot and do it with the help of your phone. That will be, yeah. So that you're just taking a photo of it, you're uploading it on Copilot, and you get the solution.
Okay, sir.
Yeah, does
Cool.
that got you? Yeah, got your problem. It reads it and it is pretty fast. I've tried it. I've tried to do that for one or two things, and it is fast. It doesn't take much time. Yeah, as long as your image clarity is there, yeah, it will solve it.
Yes, sir. Got it. Thank you.
Okay, any other question, anyone, of how to go about it, what all can be done?
Yes, one more thing I would like to add here, like we have the language teachers as well, so the chat GPT will help you with the languages as well. So
Yeah,
Marathi, Hindi, whichever language you wish, you will get your desired results with the help of the AI tools.
yeah. So I'll give you examples of how we are using AI at home. Okay, so I have downloaded the Chat GPT app, and the great part is you can talk to the app, and the app will talk to you in whichever language. Let's do a demonstration out here. Let me see if I can do the demo. So okay. So so this is the app. Okay, now I'm going to the button out here which says stop. Okay, and now it's come to that. It'll open in a moment. Now I'm talking to the app. मी मराठीत बोलतोय, मला मराठीत उत्तर द्या.
नक्कीच. मला सांगा तुम्हाला कशात मदत हवी आहे?
Can you hear that? Let me switch on the volume.
Yes, sir.
Yes, yes.
मला
Yes, I can hear.
मला फ्रॅक्शन्स
तुम्ही काय
फ्रॅक्शन्स मध्ये मदत हवी आहे.
फ्रॅक्शन्स त्यावाने कशाबद्दल माहिती हवी आहे?
मला 8वीच्या मुलांना फ्रॅक्शन्स शिकवायचं आहे, तर मी कसं चांगलं करू शकतो फ्रॅक्शन्स मध्ये, त्यांना कसं चांगलं समजावू शकतो.
तुम्ही फ्रॅक्शन्स समजवण्यासाठी प्रतीकांचा उपयोग करू शकता. जसे की पिझ्झा किंवा केकचे तुकडे दाखवून अर्धा, पाव इत्यादी भाग समजावून सांगू शकता. तसेच व्हिज्युअल्स आणि इंटरॅक्टिव्ह ऍक्टिव्हिटीज वापरून त्यांना प्रत्यक्ष अनुभव देता येईल.
So I'm just going to stop it out here, and so it you can actually, you want now how to use this. Okay, very interesting. You want to type something, and you dictate it to it. Okay, in the language, tell it I want it in this language, and it will type that for you, and you have to copy it. Okay, and you get it typed. You don't even need to sit and type it out that way. It has become that easy. So the permutations, combinations of this small voice make it really manifold of how you can and what you can do. And I'll give you an example. I mean, I was taking a session on presentation skills the other day, and there was a student who had a presentation to make. She said, this is my topic, I want to make a presentation on it, can we do it? And so we gave chat gpt the this thing that on this topic, give so many slides, this is what we want, and we gave a prompt, and we got exactly what was wanted, what she wanted. We went one step ahead. She said, okay, great, now there are two ways. Once you copy the presentation, you put in the ppt. Chat gpt ko agar aapne bata diya, the now the new version which is coming, it will give you a ppt also. We went one more step ahead. There's another app called Gamma app. In that, we copied this and we pasted it, and we said, okay, make a presentation out of it. And it made such a beautiful presentation. All that student she had to do was download that and show it. That's it. So it will make a student lazy and not take the efforts, but that's the reality. That is what we have reached, okay, as of today. But if we use it nicely, for something like this, it really helps us a lot. So whenever I'm stuck, and if I'm stuck in languages, I know something in Hindi, but I don't know what in English what it's called. This is the best tool. इसको English में क्या बोलते हैं, इसको हिंदी में क्या बोलते हैं, and you can learn language also faster with GPT. So download the GPT app definitely on your phone, and look at the voice version. This is again free. Okay, whatever I just did was absolutely free. We are Indians. We don't like to. It's not Indians, but people don't like to pay for apps. But it's free. And you should use it.
Yes. Any other further questions from anyone? Okay. So I think no queries, no questions. Yes. So here we come to the end, and I would like to thank you, Manish, for all the techniques and tools, whatever you have shown. So, thank you to all the participants who have been like they have removed their time and they were a part of this webinar. We hope you have found that the session was inspiring and it empowers you in your journey as educators. So, once again, thank you so much to Mr. Manish also and all the educators. So, the e-certificates you will be receiving in 3-4 days, working days. And stay connected and keep learning and continue making a difference. Thank you once again. Yes. So before we end, I will just have a picture. So just I would like to request everyone to switch on the cameras. Yes. If we can have the cameras on, we'll click the picture quickly. Yes.
Yeah, thank you. Thank
Yes.
you, everyone.
Thank you, everyone. Yes. Thank you so much.
Yeah, I'll just share my details if anyone wants to, you know.
Yes, of course.
So this is my number, email address, and I'm available on LinkedIn amongst all the social media platforms. Okay, so that is how you can stay in touch with me. If you require any support, let me know. Would be happy to help you.
Yes. And it was a smooth run, although you have joined from Ahmedabad. There was no connectivity issue, nothing. Everything went smoothly. Thank you, everyone, and good evening.